This morning began with a short article about a black hole. It described a research paper by students and a teacher from Seoul Science High School. One sentence stayed behind. A problem in black hole thermodynamics had been approached through entropy. But before thinking about the paper itself, another question appeared. Entropy. What exactly is it? The word entropy had appeared many times before. Thermodynamics. Disorder. Possible states. The dispersal of energy. The explanations were familiar. Yet the core idea always seemed slightly out of reach. So the question returned once again. What is entropy really trying to describe? Looking into the origin of the word led back to Greek. En. Meaning inside. Trope. Meaning change or transformation. Put together, it suggests something simple. A change happening within. That small detail stayed in the notebook for a while. A drop of ink spreads through water. Water flows downhill. Wind moves. Fire burns. The sun releases light and heat. Different scenes. Different scales. Yet all of them are forms of change. Perhaps entropy is simply one name given to those changes in nature. Then another question appeared. A rock breaks apart and becomes soil. That seems easy to imagine. But what about soil becoming rock again over long periods of time? Nature feels less simple when viewed this way. Local order can appear. Yet everything remains connected to a much larger flow of energy. At some point, Han came to mind. What is the difference between Han and entropy? At first they felt surprisingly similar. Both seem connected to change. Both seem connected to possibility. And both seem interested in more than the present moment alone. A thought followed. Maybe Han and entropy are different paths up the same mountain. A physicist may call it entropy. HEM may call it Han. That does not mean they are identical. One is carefully defined. The other is still being explored. But both seem drawn toward the question of what something may become. The thought eventually returned to the article. Perhaps the students did not discover a new nature. Perhaps they simply looked from a different perspective. HEM may be attempting something similar. Not creating a new nature. Looking again at the one that already exists. And so today's question remains. Why do we want to understand change in nature? And what is the difference between Han and entropy? There is still no answer. But one more question survived today.